Oh, top of the evening to ya. It's Blasted or Stash It. St. Patty's Day edition again. And Paul rips his headset off. That's about all I can do in my crappy Irish accent. I thought we could try to do the whole show in Irish accents if we wanted to, but I don't know if Paul wants to do that. But we're looking at the comic books from March 13, 2019. A lot of breaking neck comic books this week. And if you read, there were quite a few books with some broken necks. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the comics. We have Drew, we have Paul, we have Joe, but no Mike tonight. Mike is out. Mike is MIA, or Mike is a figment of our imagination, as we were talking in the off-air. Maybe Mike never really was here. We don't know. But we're going to go ahead and go forward anyhow. But if you see us talking to an imaginary person, the C2E2, that's Mike. Okay? Go ahead, Drew. You're up with your first book for the evening. And what are Bruce Zayas?
All right. Bruce Zayas up in that chat. Double S up in the chat. Some guy named Pocan Joe up in that chat. Jock Yo, Comics Misexplained. Good to see you, fellas. Let's talk about this book right here. This is Oblivion Song number 13. This is volume 3, getting started. A whole different take on this story. And I like the way that they rolled into something new while building off of what they brought us before. The art in this has been forever consistent. Kirkman's really working well with these characters being expanded in a lot of different ways. And we're getting a new threat that isn't exactly Oblivion versus Earth. And that is pretty darn cool, in my opinion. Excited to see where this goes. Gonna keep picking this up. One of the best series of last year, coming into this year, really, really strong with issue number 3. So excited to be stashing this one right here.
13.
Number 13.
You said number 3.
I'm pretty sure I said volume 3.
Oh, volume 3, maybe. Okay, sorry. You got 2 of those? Was it that?
Yeah,
good?
man.
You got 2?
I pick up 2 Oblivion songs every time it comes out. I pick up two issues.
Are you a speculator?
I'm not a speculator. I'm a collector, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. Well, if you're a collector, you just only need 1 copy. You don't need 2.
Okay. Tell that to everybody else in the community.
I only buy 1 of each issue, too.
Guys, I'm the only guy who goes out there buying 2 issues of a book. That's me. The only one.
Yep.
I'm going to stop doing it because of Huey's judgment.
Yeah, you are. Paul, you want to start with your book? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. Give us a book.
Avengers No Road Home number 5. This is one of my co-picks of the week. I mean, where do I begin? It says great freaking art, great freaking story. Is there anything cooler than Hulk swinging a sword while riding a steed, shooting green fire out of its nostrils, and then snapping Hypnosis' neck? In most worlds, no. That's as cool as it gets. But this is not most worlds. At the end, we have Conan kicking ass and rescuing the Scarlet Witch. Let the nerdgasms commence. This was a big old stash.
And Joe, what do you think of Avengers No Road Home?
Yeah, this is continually, every time I pick this up, this keeps impressing me. This is just good stuff. And, you know, I'm glad they're not getting crazy with the covers on this, but still, it's just a great read this week. I mean, enough said. Paul said it all. It's just a beautiful read.
Yeah, that whole scene, I was talking about the breaking next week kind of book when Hulk has Hypnos in that chokehold, and then there's a little close-up of Hulk's face, and it says crack down below it. That was just freaking awesome. I absolutely love that. Is he really dead? Who knows? Maybe he's just a chiropractor. He just popped his neck and got him good aligned. I don't know.
He's fucking dead.
You think he's dead? It's a comic book, but I'll say he's dead just because
I didn't say he's dead permanently.
Yeah,
but right now he's dead.
Yeah, that was just absolute badass. It shows, you know, the what this new Hulk is like. No holds barred. Flat out loved it. Awesome stash. Drew, holding up that cover B, I believe is what it is.
Yes, sir. Oh, boy, you had a big day. Time to go to sleep. Stash of the week, baby. That's all I'm going to say about it. Stash of the week. Nothing else this week came close. Lots of good books. Nothing came close to being as good as that.
What's a stash for all of us? Moving on to Joe. You're next.
Oh, let's talk about something interesting. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. I think everybody's waiting for it. Let's go ahead and talk about the Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight #1. Yeah, this is how you take a good guy that was kind of already dark and you make him darker. This was just epically sick. I mean, you got Batman, and I don't know how to describe it. It was like something, nothing else that I read this week came close to the unusualness that this read, and I liked it. It was something totally different. Yes, I read the Batman Metal stuff and the previous stuff. It just seemed cooler to me, and I can't quite figure out why I like it so much. But I really enjoyed this. I don't know if it's you kind of get why he does it, like it. What would you do in that circumstance, and all the different scenarios that would run through your head. And we're getting, we got what Batman did, we got what the Batman Who Laughs did, and then we got the Grim Knight, what he did. And it just seems more epic to me, and I really like it. So yeah, that's a hard stash right there all day.
Before the next person goes, I would like to say an extra special shout out to Kerboski. He was one of the OG Blasted members even before me, and I was started on episode 6, Dave?
Something like that, yeah.
He's the man. Here's the Kirby.
Yeah, I had to go. I'm like, no, that can't be Kirby. And I went to go to his channel. There's nothing up there right now, but holy crap, that is Kirby. We haven't heard from him forever. It's amazing what the
I was worried about him when the fires were going through California, because I think that's relatively near where he lives.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Grim Knight, I had to pick up the cover B, and I had to pick up 2 of them just because I like giving Drew a hard time.
Well, you got 2 of those?
Oh my god!
You got 2 of those?
Yeah. So this was good. So this shows what if Batman would have made different choices in life. That's all this is. The whole scene with the bat flying through the window, and that inspired Batman to become Batman. This guy Grim Knight freaking shoots the bat. So this is a whole bunch of cool scenes like that. A lot of comic books is that one single event or one thing that could totally twist between good or bad, and how you take that one thing. And this is that opposite side of coin to Batman. He took it the bad way, and boom, that's where he ran with it. And he's a badass killer. So definitely, it's a stash for me as well. Drew, how about you? Do you get 1 copy or 2 copies of that?
Well, sir, I got 1 copy of the A cover. I got 2 copies of the B cover. Get off my nuts.
That's what I did.
Look, this is the stash. This is where DC shines, and it's Elseworld Tales. Good stuff. I thought this was really well written. I thought that the art was impressive all the way through. It looks like 2 different styles, but it's the same artist. The flashbacks have a different feel to them than the main story. I thought it was really cool. I really dug the juxtaposition of the Grim Knight's Gordon versus the Gordon in DC Universe's proper universe, I guess. Well, it's not even really the proper universe anymore. I'm going to stop reading in the continuity there. But the fact that the Grim Knight sees him as different but when he's described to Gordon's like, no, dude, that's exactly who I am. You're the one who's different. And I thought that was really cool. I dug it. I'm excited to really see where this story goes as far as, the Batman Who Laughs overall. But it's this issue itself did a really nice job filling out the backstory of the Grim Knight and showing his motivations. I thought it was good. It's a stash.
That's somebody said Del Auto. Comics explained it's not a Del Auto cover; it's a Perello cover, isn't it? Or is that a Del Auto?
I think it's a Del Auto. That's a Del Auto.
I was thinking it was Perello. We better check. Who's right, Drew? Open it up. I'll open mine up.
That's Del Auto's signature.
What was it? Did you see it on there?
Right down the corner.
At the bottom? Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was Perello. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Hey, man, it's one of the 2 guys who paints all the covers but doesn't trace them.
Okay, moving on.
Del Auto seems cleaner to me with his painted stuff. Perillo seems like more primal, for lack of a
Perillo's
better
got
word.
a lot of brushstroke work that really conveys the emotion of the piece, whereas Delato is more definitely less abstract.
Yeah, it's almost clinical. It's very refined,
very precise.
Okay, moving on to my first book of.
What? I don't get to talk about Grim Knight?
Oh, you do. I'm sorry.
Hey, guys, can you guys stop fighting for a minute while I check on the chat? Just Rican and his comics has popped in along with Kerboski. We also got Aggressively Relaxing hanging out as well as Soldier Only. Says him and Fuchsia are working on the comic room and listening, as well as spending some time chatting us up. And CR Comics to Toys is in here as well. Now, if you guys have finished your little spat, we can move on.
Okay, Paul, what do you think of Grim Knight?
I really like the story. Like, everything you guys said are great, and Drew's wrong. I hate when they do this two art style bullshit in their books. This one I only mildly dislike it because it is the same artist and I understand what they're doing. One is a flashback and one is in real time. It still takes me out of the story. I've hated every single one they've done before where they had two different artists and it would change like every other page. And I was like, I don't know why they're still pushing this, but I guess I can begrudgingly accept it this time.
Well, I kind of agree with you on the two artists thing. I think here, as well as the styles, really split up the story. It would be kind of hard to tell sometimes which situation is happening in the flashback and which situation is happening live.
That's why I can grudgingly accept it this time, and it is the same guy doing it.
As long as it is the artist's stylistic choice, I'm down with it. But it just seems like the two artists thing. Marvel throws a lot of artists on a lot of shit books. DC has a tendency to throw extra artists on to big event books just because their artists can't hit deadlines. So sometimes that's
Doomsday Clock.
Well, Doomsday Clock doesn't have another artist, but Gary Frank apparently can't scribble indiscriminately and make pedestrian art without taking forever to do so. That's neither here nor there. I just think that Doomsday Clock would probably be better if they threw another artist on it and just finished the goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel. I've been critical in the past of their community college hiring of people, but at least they have one person do the book. Whereas DC, it seems like they have one good person, and oh my god, he can't finish. Let's get this shitty guy over here to finish it.
True story.
Okay.
Look at that common ground.
Common ground. My first book of the week is the 20th anniversary return of The Goon by Eric Powell. I read some of The Goon before. Number one's kind of pricey. Definitely been looking for that, but I'm not going to pay what they're asking for it. This was a good book. I love Eric Powell's art. He has a very, very distinct kind of style to it. Very kind of rough. He can be kind of rough and gory, yet beautiful and sleek. So, I mean, his art style is really great for me. This is one of those comic book creators that I don't necessarily agree with his political side on the personal side, but he doesn't really throw a whole lot of that into the book. And I really love that. I mean, the one thing I do love about the Goon is like this Depression era normal brawler bruiser guy that just kicks ass and kills zombies, kills monsters and stuff like that. The whole story is Goon and his little buddy. I forgot his little buddy's name. I was trying to look for it in here. They end up leaving town. They come back. And they're like, hey, this town must be great now. And they're like, it's actually worse since you guys left. We have all these different gangs. We have the South Side Mummy, the greedy but turning all them hobos ruthless into a jungle. And this whole these gangs coming back. And here Goon and his buddy are trying to fight their way back and trying to make this town great again. Yeah, make it great again, huh? Yeah, so there we go. But this is good stuff. I love this, and I look forward to, and I hope Eric Powell stays on it. That's one thing I didn't like about Hillbilly is he ended up handing it off to somebody else for the art. And I'm hoping Eric Powell stays on this for a good while, and it's a good run. So it's a stash for me, for sure. Joe, what's your experience with Goon?
Yeah, so this was great. I remember when Goon first came out. It was right about the time I joined the Army and stopped collecting comic books. And I kind of read it, and I thought it was okay at that point. But this, it almost seems like it just picked up right where it left off. Like they're coming back to the town. Because in the original comic book, it explained why the town this way and yada, yada, yada. So this is a good read. Like it's not overly action-packed, but there's some wittiness to it. He almost sounds in my head whenever I read it, because the verbiage, they use a lot of colloquial English in it for your New York, Brooklyn types from the 1950s with his little buddy who's more mouth than action. And then the sad part of the kid going back to the orphanage to find a place to sleep. And then it gets all undercut. All the emotion in this gets undercut with just brilliant writing and comical gymnastics is the best way to put it. The way it just jumps from one scene to another, keeps everything smooth. And the art in it, it's pretty good, actually. I mean, I'm not going to put it up there in the top 10, but the art in it was very clean, very bright, even though it has this kind of depression era. Everything in the background's really dark, but they always stand out in it. And I thought that was kind of an interesting art choice. It just made sense for this. So yeah, definitely. Is this going to be like a spec book or anything like that? No, but this is just a fun read, and I really like it. And I'm going to be picking up some more of these. So yeah, hard stash on this.
Before we jump into the next book, make sure you give us a thumbs up, give us a share, let people know, hey, we're watching Blasting or Stash Shit. So drinking some beer, talking about comics, arguing about Captain Marvel, whatever.
I think there's an auction going on, so ain't nobody watching this shit.
we got like 14 people watching right now, but who knows? There's always an auction going on now, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's going to C2E2, so it is the age of the auction. Everybody trying to get damn money.
Well, Drew, give us your next book.
All right, guys, let's talk about The Uncanny X-Men Winter's End. I don't know why I picked this up.
Because you're stupid and buy every X book that exists.
Not true, Paul. I'm getting ready to explain my story right now. At my LCS, my pull list says X-Men, all titles except Iceman. Because Tina Grace's Iceman has been as terrible. And this is an Iceman book by Tina Grace. I really enjoyed Bendis's Battle of the Atom, which is like people hate on modern X-Men. X-Men. People hate on Bendis.
Not Bendis.
There are plenty of things Bendis has done over the years that I really enjoy, and Battle of the Atom is one of them. On the new X-Men, the all new X-Men, where they came back from the past, I enjoyed that shit too. Good stuff, in my opinion. This is future Iceman coming back to fight Iceman. There is one really cool thing in here, and that is that Iceman's using his ice golems to help people at the beginning. That's cool. Beyond that, the art in this book is terrible. Jockio said the art and the Uncanny look cool. It not to my opinion, bro. I really, really thought this was an ugly ass book. I also thought that the story was just absolute nonsense. But it's a one shot. It's over now. So we're going to blast it. And fortunately for me, I don't have to pick up another copy.
Your LCS will find a way to stick some more in your pull list.
I will look right in the eye and say, take that shit away.
Stick it in his pull list, all right. Go ahead there, Drew. I'm not sorry, not Paul. You're up with your review on when did you, oh no, it was Joe that read that. Sorry, not Paul.
Yeah, I put you off the stick list.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I actually opened it up and saw on the first page Iceman. I said nope.
I bought this because why not? And then I realized, yeah, I haven't really been liking much of the X-Men stuff. And this didn't disappoint. It was wishy-washy at best. I'm just going to be honest and talk about this in the chat room. If your old self came back and said, hey, Slick, I got some advice for you. Check this out. Would you try to be like, look, old man, you can't tell me what to do. It's literally you. And that's basically what we got for the majority of this book going on here. which didn't make any sense whatsoever. And then the old man learns a lesson and goes back and finally dies. That wishy-washy at best. It's just weak writing. It's just to show that, everybody, blah, blah, blah. I can't even comprehend a complete insult for this thing. It irritated me so bad. The way that this writing just did not make sense. It didn't go anywhere. At the end of the book, you know what you got? You got a birthday party and a snowman that finally melted. There you go. There's your summary of the book and the review.
Was that Iceman's boyfriend?
Huh?
Was that Iceman's boyfriend that melted?
No, he did. His old self did.
Oh.
So stupid this was. Yeah, it's dumb.
I'll tell you what, there was actually one good part about this book, and that is Dakin just indiscriminately sleeping with people and then screwing them over immediately. He's just like,
yeah, that was like
he's banging Iceman, and he's like, in the future, he's like, yeah, Iceman, take it. And then he's like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to go over here and be a bad guy. And then his bad guy friends are like, oh, I love you. And he's like, yeah. And then at the end, he's like, nah, fuck you too. I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah, this entire comic book was all about, and this is what I really want to say, it's all about self-decadence. That's all this is, both on Iceman's side,
hedonism.
There. It's just, that's all it's about. It's self-decadence and nothing else. It was a complete and utter joke.
It was bad.
Okay, moving on to
Shit book of the week, even.
Yeah, it's definitely my blast for the week.
Moving on to Paul now.
This one's for Double S. Going on bad X-Men books. I know some people have a different opinion, but they're stupid. Age of X-Men, Apocalypse, and the Extracts. Good gods, what did I just fucking read? Well, I didn't even finish it, so what did I fucking partially read? It was fucking awful, horrible, painful, ugh, fuck, Marvel. I now pass it along to Drew.
Let's talk about how stupid I am right now because I'm stashing this. I thought that this was fantastic. It's a real different take on Apocalypse while he's still being evil. He's got himself a nice little cult, hippie followers that it's really weird stuff. I like the selection of characters in here. Evan's cool. The new look on Dazzler is just weird. Eye-Boy, always a favorite of mine. Spectrum looks awesome in this book. Just look at that cover there. Spectrum is badass. This is just a real different take. I think that this first issue is a whole lot of setup, but the reveal of the villain in this book at the end was really badass, in my opinion. I thought that
I didn't get that far.
You didn't get that far. Do you have it with you?
Because it was fucking awful.
Oh man, I think you're wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. But spoiler alert: the Omega Red of this Age of X-Men universe is pretty fucking badass. So I'm stashing it. I'm liking all this Age of X-Men stuff. I think it's a breath of fresh air, and it's really different. Hey, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Keep hearing the song Aquarius every time we show that main cover.
It's actually the dawning of the Age of Taurus.
Aquarius. Joe, what do you think of X-Men Aquarius issue or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I read it because, again, I pre-ordered these, so I keep getting them. So, yeah, I got it. Read it. Yeah. Like, seriously, it's no review. It's literally a copy of all the other number ones. It's the same thing. It's opposite day. It's the late 1950s. So Apocalypse has still got to be the bad guy. And in this case, instead of being a modern bad guy and doing things like he did in the other Uncanny books, he's got to be a hippie in this one because that's always counterculture. And that's all this is just stories of civilized oppression and then the outskirts of culture being the rebel influencers. And that does not read well. I'm sorry. I just cannot get into it. Like I want to. I like X-Men. But I can't.
You do?
It. Huh?
You do like X-Men?
I like good X-Men.
Since when?
Before this, before all these. Like, seriously, like this is just. Ugh.
I like
it
the comics.
was good stuff.
Uncanny Run. That's pretty cool. You know, with Wolverine, Cyclops, and all that. That's a good run. I'm enjoying the hell out of that right now. And then you give me this. Okay.
Jockio said he passed on Apocalypse and the Brady Bunch. It's more Apocalypse and the Partridge Family, in my opinion.
I like comic mixed with Flames Apocalypse trying to get his mojo. His mojo back.
Banana splits. That's a good reference there too. Good job, CR. The banana splits. Yes, it's more like that.
Okay, let's move on to let's go on to me.
Hey, Mimi.
It's all about you.
It's all about me, baby. I said it wrong before. Paul corrected me, and it's
Baylet.
Baylet. There we go. So if anybody saw the video that I posted on my copy of Baylet on the Facebook page,
It's jacked.
It's stacked.
Jacked.
Is that what? It's jacked. Yeah. So I have multiple pages repeating over and over the same thing. I was able to figure it out. You know, I knew it wasn't like an X-Men storyline where I kept jumping back in time, and you know, I knew that. So I could follow and figure out what was going on with it. So this is just basically. I'm not even gonna try it because I forgot how to say it again. Screw it.
Baylet.
Baylet. Thank you. She is. Her dad is a pirate. She wants to be a pirate, but she wants to like hunt monsters and stuff. But her dad ended up getting out of the pirate trade, and nobody. It's like the mob. Nobody gets out of the pirate trade without getting in trouble, getting her ass whipped because they owe money. So his father ended up getting his ass whipped. And she essentially rises to power and becomes a princess and going out to find monsters of the sea after that. So she wants to become her own little adventures. This is only a 5-issue miniseries. I'll pick up all 5. It wasn't as good as the Conan or even the Sword of Conan. This is a third-tier book for me if you're looking at those 3. So I'll pick up all 5 just because it was kind of a cool story. I do like that. And there So I don't know if you're talking about CR's Comics Toys talking to me, but I don't know. It was like 3 pages. They do have a cool page where this black guy ended up drugging the main character, and I was like, it's like Bill Cosby, man.
America's favorite rapist.
Right there, he like puts it here, drink this, or go sleep. It puts the serum in the mouth. And that's what he did, and she went to sleep and woke up later on. But it was good. It was a stash. Like I said, I'll pick up all 5. So, Paul, what'd you think of?
That was my other co-pick of the week. I loved it. I mean, I'm a huge Robert E. Howard fan, so that's going to play into this. But it's great art, great story. For too long, I think Baylet has been ignored for Red Sonja, who never existed in the original Conan universe. Robert E. Howard wrote one story that had a Red Sonja character in it, but it was in the 16th century. So, but Baylet was his first and greatest love in the original stories. So it's nice to see you're getting some time in the spotlight. A lot of people have said, hey, this is like goth version of Baylet. Well, Baylet was a Shemite. In the original story, he wrote that she had skin like white ivory. So I think they're pretty good with that.
You're not allowed to say Shemite. You have to say transgender.
I'm going to kick you right in the ding-ding. Right in the yam bag.
You sure he has? You're applying his gender. You're assuming his gender.
Yeah, you can't assume my gender, bitch.
Come get this yam bag, son.
Yeah, you're getting a chancla. But I think they clearly have read the original Robert E. Howard stories because they're portraying her as she should be. So I loved it.
Okay, moving on to DruManchu.
All right, guys, you want to talk about something marvelous? Let's talk about Marvelous X-Men.
Another freaking X-Men book? Come on.
Yeah, man. Here's the deal, man. This is pretty much The main title in Age of X-Men is the Marvelous X-Men. It's kind of carrying the whole thing through. We get to see what Apocalypse was doing. He's planning a gathering in the other book. We get to see the gathering here. Some of his overzealous followers try to tear down a giant statue of Wolverine, and they get to square off with the Marvelous X-Men for their troubles. I like the art in this book, man. I think it's really unique and pretty cool. I was also a fan of what they're doing with this story. Very House of M. These characters get put in a situation where their way of life in this alternate universe is questioned, and they start getting flashbacks of a previous life. We get Colossus runs into Kitty Pryde, and she invades his mind. He knows that he has a connection with this person. It drives him a little bit crazy. Same thing with Magneto. Magneto knows that he's in a world that's not right, and this kind of comes to him throughout. We get flashes of previous encounters with the X-Men where he's a bad guy, where he's a good guy as well. And they're all starting to question their whole situation, which they're the people who are in charge of making sure that we lock up the people who are questioning their situation. So that is unique in and of itself. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought Apocalypse came in and quelled the whole situation and said, hey, I'm sorry some of my followers got out of hand. We're getting the hell out of here now. Glad you guys could come see me. I just want to let you know that I love you. And they're all like, the fuck? And which is exactly what should happen. It messes with their heads. And I think that that will probably be the end game of this, that Apocalypse will be the catalyst that breaks everybody from their trance. I think it's going to be cool. I've liked it. It's a stash in my opinion. Seawood, hey, yo. Hopping in the chat, throwing toothpicks at everybody.
Joe, Marvelous X-Man or whoever.
Yeah, it's garbage. They just doubled down on the same thing they did in issue 1. Everything I said about issue 1, double times 2 for this issue. It's just everything's. It's just poor writing. That's all that is. The art's good in it. Like I'll give credit where credit's due. The art's okay in it, but I'm not digging where they think the story is going to end up, because they're just kind of spotty right now. And I don't like spotty storytelling. Maybe it's a personal thing. Maybe, I don't know. But it just doesn't seem much flow behind it. It's just kind of, this is happening. This is happening. By the way, it's in your head. Oh, and also this is happening. And I'm like, man, just, you got plenty of comic books to write. Just give me a story. A beginning, middle, and then leave me on a cliffhanger so I can buy the next issue. And and again, the only reason why I have these, I'm not buying these. I pre-ordered these thinking it would be something. And that's what you get for getting a discount on comic books, ordering 2 months in advance, because you may end up with a shit art.
Yeah, if it's a continuation of the last book, why put them both out the same week? Why not just say, hey, here's issue 1?
It's not a continuation of the last book.
You said it was.
No, it's a continuation of issue number 1. It flows directly from the ideas presented in the extracts.
I don't know what you're talking about on the extract. It's not extract on anything. It is directly, purposely, deliberately vague at best.
No, the book that's called Apocalypse in the Extracts.
Yeah, it's all vague. I don't know where they're getting the extract from.
That's the name of the team.
Right. I thought it was also a play on words, according to the writer in an article.
It is a play on words.
And there's nothing extractable about it. It's not extract in any way. I don't know what he was talking about in the article either. Futurist. This is popping up all over the place.
Elon Musk is a futurist.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my goodness, let's not go there again. Well, Joe, do you have a good book you can talk about now?
I don't know. I'm kind of mad now, and I've been drinking.
Oh man, I'm so looking forward to Chicago.
All right, let's talk about what I considered the sleeper this week. I ordered this so I could get a deal on the shipping when I ordered it, and then I'll be honest, this is a hard stash for me, and it was hard for it not to be my pick of the week. But this is Assassin Nation. This thing is kind of awesome. I'm going to be honest. This is a fun read. If you like storytelling, like the Ace
Marvelous
of Spades,
X-Men?
that show with all the assassins and they get the viewpoint of each one, or unlike X-Men where they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about, when you got actual assassins that have different personalities and different, it reads very well, and then you stick them all into a room and make them hang out and then throw some action in there with it. Man, this is just a fun read. Go out and get this. I'm telling you right now, I'm always very hesitant on telling people to read something, but the art in this is very clean, very colorful. It makes fun of itself and today's culture, and it kind of has that whole assassins. I don't know how to put it. If you've never seen like the Ace of Spades or Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where you have the different characters doing different things, and then you kind of throw them into the same situation, their personalities really come out. This is just a great read. I'm definitely going to be picking up a lot of these. Very good.
Snatch is brilliant because the DVD came out with a option to subtitle it just for Brad Pitt's character.
Yep.
I think knowing what he's saying kind of ruins the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta just let him be a pikey and just.
Boys get a pair of shoes. Periwinkle Blue boys.
Periwinkle Blue.
Blue. Yeah, I watched it with subtitles on because I couldn't understand the freaking thing he was saying. I don't know why I didn't pick that book up. I saw in the previews and I read it. And I'm like, God, that does not sound like something I want to read. And I passed on it. And now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have passed on it.
I'll tell you what. I'll bring it to C2E2 and I'll let y'all read it. While you're waiting,
buy it.
To get something signed, and you make your decision there. Well, I'm telling you, it's a good read.
It's an image number one, so it'll either be worth $400 or it'll be lining dollar bins, one or the other.
It looks
We'll wait and see.
I can't make money off of them.
When you drink it, Joe, it looks nice and dark.
Oh,
looks like a stout or a porter.
This is the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, the 200th anniversary.
Nice.
That Foreign Extra is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Moving from one image book that one of us read to another image book that only one of us read, and that is Little Bird by Image Comics. This book was started out, I thought it was like a period kind of piece comic, like a Native American tribe. That's what it starts out with. Pretty barren. Doesn't look like a whole lot of technology. Pretty simple buildings. And we couldn't find out it's actually the church that's kind of keeping them down. And they end up going to battle. The mom ended up putting Little Bird, the main character, in a place where she can hide during this battle. Little Bird ended up coming out 3 days later. Their whole town is decimated. There's nobody there. So she thinks it's up to her to save or get revenge. I got a couple notes here, I think, here. I want to look them up because I know I made a couple notes. There it is. Little Bird was good. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. So she has to. So she's always left. She needs to free the axe. That's her mission, to free the axe. And so she ends up going to the main headquarters of this other community, and she ends up. She's a lot of talking about like wolf and look like Native American kind of stuff. There's a scene where this wolf is tracking her in the snow as she's going through, and then you see a pile of guts, and you're thinking, "Oh, that's the end of Little Bird." But we find out that she's actually using that wolf to disguise herself as she's going across the snow to break into this facility to retrieve the big axe.
Can I get a dead dog trigger warning?
No, you don't get a dead. That's a wolf. There's a difference. Big difference.
It's just a wild dog, bro.
So when we find out that the axe is not a literal axe, the axe is this big Canadian dude with a beard, like an invincible guy. I think from what I understand, maybe that's her grandfather, if they do a little flashback. But this was pretty good. I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. So at the end of the story, they end up getting free, the Little Bird and the axe, and then now it's on. Essentially, he's going to end up tearing some shit up. He ends up cleaving a dude in two at the end with his big axe. But this was actually a pretty dang good book. The artist in here, it seems like I've seen this art before, and I can't place it anywhere else. It is by, who is the artist? Maybe you guys can know something. Ian Bertram. You must know anything else he's done?
Yeah, he did Little Bird.
Christ.
What a smart ass. Literally. That's
Better than being a dumbass.
Better than being a dumbass, exactly.
Okay, whatever. It was a stash for me. I'll pick up issue 2 just to kind of check it out, just because they have the big dude cleaving people with an axe. So it's good stuff. Little Bird, number 1.
We all
Now
know big dudes.
Back to Drew and his mouth.
All right, gang, let's talk about X23 number 10. This is the A cover right there. Man, mine's got a little
Got a divot.
yeah, it's a tear. I'm not excited about that. I didn't pick up 2 of these, Huey, and I'm kicking myself.
I cannot press that out.
No, it's a rip in the cover. I'll get another one eventually. This right here is the Spider-Man Villains cover. Absolutely love that fucking Rhino there. Who
Rhino
did this? This is
Lian Yuk.
This is the Lee and Yuk. Yeah, this story's amazing. That Assassin X or whatever the robot X23 is, she's done. She didn't get a chance to be awesome very long, but she was super awesome when she was around. And Honey Badger seems like she's up to something at the end of this. So maybe we'll get a reappearance of this Assassin X character. Maybe her Honey Badger will find a way to put some of these things back together and give us another badass Wolverine-esque character. But man, I love this story. Anytime Gabby shows up anywhere, I'm in. I'm stashing it. Good stuff.
Yes, Double S, I will be disappointed that I will not get my Pig Nip signed at C2E2 because she is not there.
I'll sign your Pig Nips, baby.
I was going to have Mikey do it because that's kind of his thing, but whatever works.
Man. No, just write me out of this story.
Okay, I will.
And Mikey's not here, by the way, folks, because he indicated that he was a desiccated husk in his bunk after reading Baylet. So,
yeah. All right, Joe, your take on X23.
Yeah, I would like some more of that X-Assassin in here, I think. I thought they killed off that character way too quickly. Great story, great way to, the 2 going against all the odds and everything else. Thought it was a great read. I would like to have seen X-Assassin survive this issue and then maybe kill her off when it meant a little bit more to her. Like we could kind of relate to the character, becoming more human, and then kill it. That way you get that kind of emotional drag to it. But we didn't get that in this. They killed her off pretty quickly. So therefore it's just, gone too soon, just like it's being said in the chat. But yeah, it was okay. There's better issues. This was okay. That's all I can really give it. It's still a stash because, again, I agree with Drew on this one. Anytime you throw Honey Badger in there and she's up to something mischievous, that's always a good time, and it's good fun.
Do you understand what RIP means, right, Drew?
It's a meme, Huey.
Okay. Apparently, I'm too old to understand what meme, but this looks like you're retarded. That's what it looks like in the chat.
well,
Yeah.
he is. But that's not why.
So
He likes all these X books. That's why.
okay, I got it.
Oh
now.
man, people
I'm
hating
sorry,
on me
Drew.
because I got faith.
I didn't realize. I apologize. Paul, your next book.
Well, Joe did his sleeper of the week. This is going to be my sleeper of the week, and anybody who knows how much I love Marvel's current output is going to be shocked to fuck out of this. Magnificent Miss Marvel #1. I was pleasantly surprised by this. I started reading it, and I was like, the art is great, but this book was not written for me. It starts off with, I thought it was written for my 8-year-old because she smashes like a dumpster over some guy, and she's like, oh, it smells like poop. I'm like, that's my 8-year-old right there. But then her father finds out she's Ms. Marvel, and he tries to stop her from going out to do everything. But her, I don't know if it's her boyfriend. I haven't read Miss Marvel before now. I don't know if it's her boyfriend or whatever, but he calls her up and says, we got a situation here. And she goes off to fight some monsters, and she beats the snot out of them. They turn into blue goo. And then he's like, oh, I found another one because he's got some detector or whatever, and it's at her freaking house. So she rushed there, and I'm not going to give it away, but I am going to give it away. It was an amazing finish to the book. This is like a Peter Parker, Uncle Ben level moment. I'm really interested to see where this goes next.
You all read that, but Drew, would you mind, if you're capable, to give us an update on that chat? There's a few new people in there.
My capabilities know no upper limits, Huey. I can totally do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jock Yo wants to say to Spider Grandpa, R.I.P. So R.I.P. in peace, Mike. He can't really rest in peace. I think he's been a figment of our imagination all along. This is the Mandela effect. There never was a Spider Grandpa. Beyond that, we got Nola Nerd and Comic Chief just hopped in the chat, and Captain Dadpool as well. So very happy to see these guys, and happy everybody's watching. How many we got watching live, Huey?
Yeah, it looks like we got 17 live. I haven't seen Captain Dadpool in our chat in a good while.
I haven't seen Captain Dadpool in anything in a while.
Captain Dadpool popped up somewhere this past week. Or maybe it was last week he was in the chat. I don't remember. I don't know. Dadpool, let us know where you've been.
There goes your mic. There goes your mic. Fix it. Oh, thank you, Chief, for giving us a shout out on that like button. Yeah, so give us a thumbs up, give us a share again, just a little reminder. And if you want to give a thumb down because of Drew's mic or mishap, you're more than welcome to do that too. Or you just go to his channel, give him all sorts of thumbs down there, whatever you want to do.
Hey man, I got 300 subscribers now. They love my mic.
So, okay, I'm not going with that double entendre there. I'll move on to Joe.
Oh, we're talking about comic books still?
Yeah. Barely.
Are we?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, let's talk about something I like. Let's keep the positivity going. Let's talk about Justice League Dark, number 9. Man, I'm gonna be honest. This is just good reading. It just makes sense the way they're flowing this in, and then we have the Lords of Order. I think this is a great take on Faith. Oh, I'm sorry, my mouth is dry for some reason. On Naboo and that whole situation and these new kind of team that he's put together. They're all based off of different types of armor. And it almost kind of reminds me, I don't know if you went to Sunday school, but you had like the armor of Christ. Each one of these people are based off of like a helmet, a breastplate, gauntlets, boots, much like the biblical reference. And apparently they wrote a lot of the first magic books. And they're not too happy with the way the world's going. They're bringing an apocalypse. And we got some great, the Blue Dragon back in here. And a lot of references off of other magical characters that we expect to see in the series as it goes. And, of course, Bobo the Detective Chimp is wielding his sword and doing cool stuff with it in it as well. This has been kind of cool. This is just a fun read. When everything starts looking the same, this is a great way to break up the monotony when you're going through comic books. And it was fun.
When you say blue, you mean Blue Devil?
Yeah. When I say Blue Demon, Blue Devil.
Blue Dragon. Yeah, so that was actually a funny scene. I love that. He comes right up on a horse with his army, and he's like, "Oh, Bobo, what'd you do now? You screw something up again?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." And he's like, then he realized, wait a minute, are these the bad guys? Yeah, they're the bad guys. Oh crap! That scene was kind of funny. And Bobo does figure out he can do more with this sword than what he thinks. He ends up teleporting them out of that area, and he's like, "How the hell did I do that?" So
yeah, he says, "How did you know I could do that?" And he's like, "I read the instruction manual." And he's like, "There was an instruction manual?"
I forgot about that line too. Yeah. So, I do love that Bobo's finally starting to learn the capability of the sword and what he can do with it too. So this is good stuff, dude. I love that. I love the Clayton Crane cover on this one too.
Oh yeah,
definitely a stash for me this week.
Clayton Crane is one of the few guys. I've got a few covers by him, but I haven't really picked anything out that I want him to sign at C2E2.
Scorpion Comics will have a ton of fucking exclusives when we get there, so just pick one of those.
Yeah. Most people got plenty of stuff sitting on their desk.
I was hoping Mike would be here to talk about potentially any exclusive Funko Pops to C2E2. I think C2E2 is a fairly big con.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like
It's
there actually.
I would say
They
it's one of the
booth
top
space.
5. New York City Comic Con, C2E2,
Yeah,
San Diego, Dallas. I mean, that's probably the top 4 right there.
yeah. They got space there, from what I understand. And they're coming out with exclusives there too. So we may lose Drew, or not Drew. Sorry, we may end up losing good old Mikey in there.
And and I know a lot of people have been talking about them. I've got 4 on the way to me now, but that Spider-Man box, or the
Spider-Man booth.
Spider-Man booth, they're going to be there, and they're going to have 50 of their elite boxes. I think they're like $200 a piece, but I know they're at least at a minimum guaranteed to have a Stan Lee signed book.
Okay, moving on to Drew.
All right, guys. Let's talk about something we can all get on board with. And that's how awesome fucking Punisher is. Oh, man, he's killing bad guys left and right. He poses as a Hydra agent, so a Hydra agent has to pose as him and gets the noose for his troubles. This is just amazing. I'm loving it. We get some really good battles in here. This is just, it's just him off and Hydra agents left and right. I can't get enough of this. This is really great. He squares off with the Taskmaster, who ends up getting hit by a truck, which is great stuff. Oh, man, good stuff. Stashing it. The art has been consistent. Rosenberg is killing it on this story. I can't wait to meet him again at C2E2, get him to sign something. Probably one of my X-Men covers that have been coming out recently. But, man, I'm stashing that. Rosenberg knows how to spin a yarn, my friends.
I'm surprised that Paul didn't read this week, but
I haven't gotten to it yet.
He'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I mean, to make Punisher Stops has a little fatherly kind of role, and they're like, "Well, didn't you kill the guys in the armory?" And like, "No, I couldn't do it." And he goes, "Now, since you couldn't do your job and you didn't tell me you couldn't do your job, a couple of your friends are dead now. You know, you got to think about this kind of stuff." That was kind of a weird role for the Punisher to stop and kind of talk about that. Maybe Sister Mary has got a kinder side to him. I don't know. The whole battle between Taskmaster and him was pretty good. Although he got a sword right to the freaking shoulder. I'm like, is that really him, dude? That shoulder screwed. You know, I get a little older, and you start having older injuries come back and hurt, and you're like, wait a minute, I did that 20 years ago. That's hurting really bad now. I can imagine being Punisher or somebody like that, being in their 50s or 60s and going, ow. You know, that's from all the crap and abuse they put their bodies through. But Punisher's good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I'll probably get, I think, like Punisher, the only thing I have from Rosenberg that I would get signed is C2E2.
Huey.
Yeah, sure.
Frank's in a whole lot better shape than any of us are in. So I
Well,
think he probably fare better with a sword to the shoulder than any of us would.
Well, no, but I mean, regardless of how good a shape you take a sword right through that shoulder, you're going to be having some pain later on in life.
Maybe it was just in the meat. Maybe it didn't hit the bone.
Hey,
Nah,
Drew,
look at
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I know.
he's overnighting it to you, to Drew.
It doesn't matter.
Drew will have it.
What's he overnighting?
Nolan Nerd sent me some books he wants to get signed at C2E2. So, he said he's going to send it out to me. He says tomorrow. Let's just hope that the post office works with you, bro, because I'm flying out Thursday morning. But if I get it, I will do my best for you.
I was just talking to someone who sent me a bunch of books that I'm meeting him at C2E2 to press. And I was like, I hope I can get them all done in time. But you sent me an unnatural number 1. If I don't finish them all, that's going to be last. He said, yeah, don't even do it.
So, real quick question, pressing stuff. I think I was watching a show the other night with
Is it a pressing matter?
It is a pressing matter. Well, kind of. That you got to meet Alex the Comic Quarter in person.
Oh, yeah, I've met him a couple times. Now.
And they were saying that either you're really tall or he's really short. I couldn't find a picture. I was trying to find a picture either on Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, and I couldn't find it. But I wanted to see that picture. I want to see, because I heard you're a pretty tall guy. You're like 6'1" or 6'2".
Yeah, I'm 6'2". let me see if I can, because I know Alex posted it on his Instagram, and
I'm not following Alex on Instagram. While you're looking it up, I'm gonna go back to Joe and your next book, Joe.
Man, we've been really nice about books, so let's be mean. So somebody on my own channel actually pointed out that I usually say in my channel, hey, I'll give any arc 2 issues before I blast it. And I blasted the hell out of this book. Like, I talked dirty about this book. It was a garbage book. I called it Dumpster Fire. They blasted me and told me that, I owe it another issue. So being a man of my word, I went ahead and got Wonder Twins #2. And guess what? It's still garbage. I don't know what this writer is thinking. This writer has no concept of very basic things like how a prison system works, right? You do something bad, you go to jail. There's some reform opportunities in there, but it's not really up to the state to reform people. This person, I don't understand why this is even a subject matter inside of a book where supervillains go to jail. And then if they find a job there, they make money so they can buy like ramen noodles at the little shop there in a prison, eat them, and just do their time and come out and do good things afterwards. I don't understand this. We need to reform people. It almost sounds like you want to reprogram people. And they kept preaching to this in this book. And I'm like, that's not the purpose of a prison. That's not what prison is not a rehab facility. Prison is not a reform center. It is not that. If you don't know the difference between right and wrong, you go to a mental hospital. If you knowingly break the crime, that means you can do good. You chose not to. Therefore, there's nothing to reform. Sorry about your luck. And this person keeps beating down, doubling down that these criminals that are they're spending their 6 times in jail, they work a little job in a call center. She says it's demeaning and beyond anything. They don't understand how this is blah, blah, blah. It needs a better system. Congratulations. You did what most people do at this particular person's age. You mentioned a problem, and you gave us no answer. Like nothing that could possibly be better. All you did was run your mouth about a problem, and you fed it and you preached it to us. And then you sat there and did exactly what you promised in the summaries, and you gave us our monkey. Literally, Xandar bought it online, and it came in a box. And he dumped the box down. And yay, we got our monkey back from when we were kids watching this as a cartoon. So whoever this writer is, I don't want to know who it is. But if by chance you come across this show, thank you for not understanding very basic concepts and systems, overwriting things, and telling us what we already know as a society. Good job. You dumpster fire of a writer. I'm done.
Did you find that picture, Paul?
I found one. It's not the one that let me send it to myself so that I can show it on the screen. It's not the one he took. I look like I'm towering over.
Okay, well, while you're still finished doing that, I'll go to my next book, Winter Soldier #4. So this is the 4-part. Moving into the last issue. The next issue is the last issue of this miniseries. So this issue here, we meet RJ's dad. We find out he's a reformed. He went to prison, and he's out, and he ended up trying to reconnect with his son. He doesn't really know what his son is now. This freaking trained killer. He's still involved with the mob. When he came out of prison, he got like $50,000 to try to get things rolling with a like 5%, like $2,500 a week add-on if he's not paying it. And so that's the whole story about him going back and forth. RJ convinced Winter Soldier to say, hey, dude, you hide people all the time. Can you help my dad? Bucky doesn't really want to do it. He thinks his dad's not going to be not wanting to change. But he goes against his best wishes, does it anyhow. And you find out that RJ's dad is still this always trying to hustle, always trying to get the quick deal, whether it be criminal or not. And So now we're back down to Bucky's is saying, "Hey, dude, you need to leave RJ alone," and Bucky's kind of taking the father role for RJ and thinks he has some place to say, "Hey, this is how you need to raise RJ," versus the real dad. And I'll spoil it at the end. So RJ's dad ended up taking a swing on Bucky. Bucky's not wanting to fight him, really. He just kind of defend himself. Just kind of sidesteps him, kind of shoves him away. His dad ends up breaking his neck on a dumpster and dying. So now, going to the last issue, RJ's dad's dead. Now Bucky has to try to maybe mend that relationship, explain to RJ why his dad's dead, and he's the one that caused it. So this is definitely more of a, not a whole lot of action. It's definitely story-driven. Book. So it's a stash. I'll pick up the last issue and kind of finish it out and see what it's like. Towering him over there.
Yeah, like I said, that one, it doesn't really show like I'm towering over him, but I know Seeking Yermit Comics was like, damn, he's kind of big, and Alex was like, yeah, I felt intimidated.
Well, I'll get there. I'll intimidate you, Paul.
Well, you're 6'6" or
6'5".
6'5",
right around there. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, yeah, Winter Soldier. This is a good story, and really, it asks the question: if you take a title, what is the role that comes with the title? Like, it's easy to be called a dad or a mom, and the truth is, shouldn't there be like responsibilities that come along with the title? Because you keep hearing RJ's dad in the entire thing. I'm his dad. I'm his dad. He's never around, never did anything. So technically it's just by biological, whereas we got the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes himself, like feeding, housing, showing the kid moral responsibilities. So the question is, what makes a father in this? And then when the two dads are in the alley having that conversation, again, you got it. It's there. I think it's an interesting read. It definitely doesn't read like a standard comic book. It reads more like a it's almost like it asks you a question and expects an answer from it, like on a long resume or a long essay. It kind of reads in that manner with dialogue only. That's the only difference. I do find it interesting, so it's definitely a stash. I've been enjoying it, and I'm kind of curious what will happen in issue number 5, because obviously RJ is going to find out that his biological dad is dead, and what does that play out to be? I'm curious how that works out. That would be interesting.
So basically, Winter Soldier's just like stealing people's kids and killing them.
Nobody stole it. Everything's voluntarily done.
Kids can't volunteer, man.
Yes, they can. Kids volunteer all the time, all over the world.
No, they can't volunteer to have a man take care of them. That's called NAMBLA.
No, they can even do that.
Wow, we got a NAMBLA reference.
You're going to get us banned from YouTube. You and your NAMBLA.
Look, I'm not stashing NAMBLA. I didn't read it.
What book are we talking about? I missed.
Watch out, Winter Soldier's going to steal your kids and murder you in an alley.
Okay, so we are at just over an hour in. Let's jump into lightning round, starting with Drew.
We're lightning round already? All right.
We're an hour in, dude. We keep talking.
What I mean, all right. That's fine. Hate on me because I don't have a clock. Headlopper, number 11. Picked up both covers. Man, if you like sword and sorcery, if you like barbarians, if you thought that, Conan was a little too serious, pick this shit up. This is amazing. Super funny. Lots of really great action. Really, really awesome world that McLean's built here. I really enjoy Headlopper, one of my favorite books running. Transformers number 1. This is a pretty cool cover I picked up. I think that's really neat looking. The art in this is meh. The story is a really good reason why I don't buy Transformers books.
Who's the writer and artist on that, Drew?
I don't fucking know. Ruckley and Hernandez.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that may be part of the original team or not.
Nobody and Nobody Jr. X-Force number 4. Ed Brisson's telling a really great story here. Dylan Burnett's art in this is very highly stylized. It's not for everybody, but I'm really enjoying it. This is, you can see on the cover here, potential death of a character in here. Also, fantastic return of a great villain. So check out X-Force, man. I was ready to drop Weapon X, which this book spun out of. And they're like, oh, there's only 2 issues left. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll buy them. And then I was signed up for X-Force automatically, I guess, rolled over. I was like, I don't want this book, but the covers are great. And I started reading it, and it's really good stuff. I like what Brisson's doing with this. Speaking of Ed Brisson, also like what he's doing with Dead Man Logan. It's not the story that I kind of expected going into it. Issue 2 was a real letdown for me. But after I got through issues 3 and 4, I feel like I found where they're going with this. And I'm enjoying it. I think that Brisson's dialogue for Old Man Logan is pretty cool. Every time he says something badass, I get to pop a little nerd boner. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what we got here. As Guardians of the Galaxy number 7. This was good stuff. I'm enjoying this little bit of a cosmic romp. They kind of didn't have much of a direction coming out of Infinity Wars, but I like what's going on here. And we get the death of Kid Loki. He'll probably be back in one way, shape, or form or another. That's just how Loki works. But I enjoyed it. Good stuff. The Amazing Spider-Man number 17. I haven't had a chance to crack this open and read it yet. I did flip through it. This is a Craven story.
If you're Craven, I'm gonna get that.
What's that?
It's Craven. I'm gonna get that.
It's the new event. The last issue was basically Black Cat going into this event. This looks like it's more Craven proper. The first page is like Craven coming out of the bath, naked as fuck, getting ready, talking about how he's got to kill the spider's going to kill him. And then I was like, oh, I'll get to this later. And I never went back to it. So this is probably something I'll read tonight before I go to bed. Excited to get to that. Marvel Tales.
Make it Craven.
Well, the thing for me is I've always said that the greatest short story arc ever was Craven's Last Hunt. So
shades of Craven's Last Hunt in the first couple of pages. I would get on that if I were you.
Cover gives that impression.
I think that this actually might be Craven's actual Last Hunt. We'll see. Marvel Tales Thor. This is a anthology of Thor reprints. Let me go ahead and pull this out and go over what all is collected here, because it is basically a who's who of Thor issues.
I'm really waiting for Mike Hunt, Craven's brother Mike, to come in there so you can do Mike Hunt.
Mike the Hunter.
Shut up. I know Journey into Mystery 85 is in there, so you don't have to go past that. But I mean,
Journey 85, Journey Annual number 1, which is the first appearance of Hercules. Really great story there. Avengers 83 and Thor 337, which is the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. So this is 4 really stellar issues that are must own. If you don't have those issues and want to read them, this is a really great way to get them for $2 a piece. This is really good stuff. Really worth the $8 I spent on it. Really nice read, and took me back in a bunch of different ways.
I thought that was a very solid selection.
Yeah, I mean the Venom Tail stuff was pretty good, and I didn't pick up the Black Widow. None of the issues really popped out as something that I needed to read, and this isn't really something I don't think that's going to anthology books, for $8 aren't something that's going to really hold value in my opinion. It's just a bunch of reprints. So this being one with a bunch of stories that I really wanted to reread, and a couple of books that I have in a condition where I don't want to bring them out and read them. Really great buy in my opinion for $8. Just a whole lot of story, whole lot of Thor. If you're a Thor fan at all, it's definitely worth the pick up and the read. Scooby Apocalypse 35. Zombie Fred's back with the gang. We got super badass Scrappy Doo. There he is, all fucking roided up. And this is just insane. Just really, really weird storytelling. And I really enjoy it. I'm surprised at 35 issues, this is still going. When everybody heard that we were going to get hipster Scooby-Doo after the Hanna-Barbera issues were released, everybody was like, what the hell is this? Oh, Fred with a Van Dyke, or Shaggy with a Van Dyke, and Fred with his bandana instead of a neckerchief. It's weird. And guess what? It is weird, but it's super enjoyable. You also get the Adam Ant backup story with Batman in there, which is kind of funny. I enjoyed this. Really cool stuff. And it's going to forward. It's not one that I read the second that I pick it up, but it's definitely something that, normally I'll wait a couple issues and burn through a story arc, but just good old fashioned fun. That's
the only Hanna-Barbera one that's stuck, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. And they do all the crossovers, but I think as far as the original Hanna-Barbera lineup that they brought back, it's the only one still around.
Yeah, I mean, Flintstones started out really great, but it just faded real quick.
Yeah, Flintstones issue 1 was probably my blast of the year that year. I thought it was absolutely terrible. I didn't think any of the jokes landed, but that's just me. And I also picked up Supergirl 28. You got this Jeremy Carey cover here.
A whole lot of them.
What's that?
I just meant it sold a whole lot of them.
Oh, it did, and it was critically acclaimed, but not by this critic. I mean, I saw what they were going for. I can appreciate it. I just think that the Snagglepuss was a mini.
I know it was, but has it finished? Because I didn't see any of them.
Yeah, I think so. That was also critically acclaimed, but I didn't care for the number 1 either. Just not a story for me. I thought it was well executed, whereas I thought Flintstones was a story for me that was poorly executed.
Paul made it to Lightning Round, even though I may only have one book.
But I have a book for Lightning Round. Star Wars: Age of Republic, General Grievous. I liked it. It really gives some insight into General Grievous. I mean, how much insight do you need? He loves killing Jedi, and he kills a lot of Jedi. And then he gets there into some secret Jedi temple and figures out he can't figure it out, so he nukes it from outer space. And that's General Grievous. If he doesn't understand it, he just destroys it. But he didn't destroy it. That's what you figure out at the end. But
Joe?
Yeah, I've got a few books.
Few? Holy crap.
Prodigy number 4. I'm still digging this. If you like Indiana Jones and you like MacGyver and stories along those two lines, you would like this. This has still been a good read for me. I do enjoy it. And again, they gave us another kind of internal log of how he thinks, and I find that interesting because it definitely deals with the concepts of the brain. Next, I got Spawn Kills Everyone 2. This is the last issue. Stupid fun. That's all this was. It's a parody.
It makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's just a parody, and it's fun and stupid. Amazing Spider-Man, number 17. Hey, I've been enjoying this. I know some of the people in chat have been tearing this up, but I'll tell you what, in the first few pages of this, Kraven's dialogue to himself, it's great to get a monologue from a villain where he's not giving up a plan. He's actually talking about his intentions here. And then at the end, the hunt is on. Like, they're out there, and Spider-Man's in there too. So let's see who everybody goes after. Gunning for Hits. Man, I really enjoy this. Not very action-packed. Very witty banter going on in here. We know some of the people have a past to them in special operations and dropping bodies and that kind of thing. And they always hint to it. So we know it's coming. But this has just been a great read about the music industry and how cutthroat it can be.
I like how they used the CD font for the...
Yeah. Let's see. X-Force, number 4. Hey, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. Gone Too Soon. Warpath.
It didn't last too long in the original Uncanny X-Men either.
Yeah, one issue.
Catwoman, number 9. Hey, this was a great issue until it ate itself. And it ate itself in the way of, again, it always has to go back to Batman 50. And every time that happens, I just get a little angry on the inside. But great bank heist in this. Almost like an Ocean's 11 type read. It was really good. Marvel's Anointed. I enjoy this just for, yes, it's a flashback issue, but it's told from this perspective of all the people around that are watching this happen, especially a reporting group. And that's just a beautiful cover. So, yeah, I went ahead and picked that up. All from back in the Defenders days. As Guardians of the Galaxy, hey, Kid Loki's gone. We don't know if that's a truth or not. With Loki, it's always an if or and maybe possible thing. But we did get some great stuff in here. We get the close of an arc and the beginning of another arc. So that should be interesting. I've been enjoying that a lot. Transformers #1. Art was really good in it. I love this cover. Story didn't really make much sense. It's just it's legitimately just some people walking. If you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings because you like people walking, yeah, you'll like this. It's just them walking. Wonder Woman #66. Garbage. Burn it. I don't know what happened. It started off really good. I was really getting into it, and now it's just nothing. There's nothing going on in it. They just keep saying words. Old Man Quill, love this. Been enjoying this. Old Man Quill is starting to get some of his banter back, and he's becoming a character in it now. A lot of references to a lot of old school Marvel stuff in here. Big shout out to the Two Gun Kid. Now Quill has one of his pistols because they lost the other one. And what's the dragon's name? Fing Fang Foom. He's making an appearance in here because apparently we're going to go Gladiator. That's kind of cool. Plus, you see Trickmaster or Taskmaster as an old man, which is kind of cool. Dead Man Logan, man, here's the weird thing about this. They ended this like it was an arc, and it's just a 12-issue miniseries. I thought that was kind of weird, so I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with the next one. If your big bad, the target, Mysterio, basically just goes back to the old folk or the insane asylum's home just to have a seat because he's tired of everything. So now I'm like, okay, what else is going on? And it's how are you going to, that was the whole reason why he came back. So I'm very excited to see what happens in the next story. That should be interesting. Superman #9. Hey, look, in case you didn't know, Rob Liefeld cannot draw.
Yeah.
Like, at this point in my life, it's almost such a tragedy. I feel like I'm giving charity to the man by buying his books. However,
you buying them though,
which I did. I've been wanting this to be good because I'm a Superman fan, and finally, we got at least an interesting story. It's taken another peek to it. We're dealing with Super Sun and everything he had to deal with. So I'm kind of on board for now. I still don't know if it's because my expectations have dropped so much that I'll accept some garbage now, or if it's actually turning good. So I'm going to need a couple more issues on this one.
just buy the A cover.
I'm sorry?
Just buy the A cover.
Just buy the A cover. All right, so here's my biggest dumpster fire of the week. I was going to bring it up earlier. This book is garbage. Calamity Kate. Yeah, I picked this up. I read it, and I was like, so the hell what? This is a garbage book. It literally just, it's just a rebel without a cause, apparently no clue, and she freeloads on her friends. And by the way, every couple of panels, she might kill a monster. Only because she's in competition with another monster killer, I guess.
I would like to point out this one did not get thrown out your window going over a bridge like a book about 2 months ago. I know you threw a book out the window.
I did. Got a video of me doing it, put it on Facebook. The only reason why that didn't happen is because I took the back way home and there's no bridge that way. Almost that I have a show now, and I'm on a show now, and I got to show books. But so yeah, this almost went out the window. Like I wouldn't even put this in one of my online auctions in a grouping. Like, this is gonna pretty much go to the trash can. It makes no sense. It's just stupid. I'm sorry. Whoever wrote this, maybe you need better life choices, career choices. If you need a job in the banking industry, I'm happy to help you. Just stop doing comic books, please. Thank you.
It can't be worse. Drew, you were there when Chad was at Baltimore Comic Con, and and went up and talked about how much he hated the new Lobo to the person who created the new Lobo.
It's all right. I kind of smoothed it over right away. Me and Miss Explained were like, no, we're big fans.
But I mean, that's like open mouth insert foot.
It's all
That's the end
good,
of your
baby.
lightning round, Joe?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
Yeah. I need another beer. I'll be right back.
Okay. My lightning round is going to be pretty short. Okay, there, Paul. So don't stress. Don't stress. Dead
I
Man
mean, Joe had like 80 books.
I know. Dead Man Logan number 5. Agree with Joe. This should make. Oh, this is the end of the series. Boom, right there. Mysterio just goes to kick back in his chair. Logan thinks he's killed Mysterio. This could be the end of the book right here. I don't know where this is going to go from here, but I'll still pick it up. Calamity Kate, cover 8. I did not read that yet. So with Joe talking, maybe I might give this away. I don't know. What the hell? We'll see. Shredder and Hell number 2. First one was good. This one's kind of it was a little different. It was okay. I don't know if I'm going to be picking up anymore. I think this is 5 or 6 issue miniseries. The cover buys for the week. Picked up cover number 6, the cover B with the Jim Lee. Got that guy. That's the only reason I got it because Jim Lee was on the cover. This Lango, this awkwardly shaped Supergirl cover really kind of can't figure out. She's really funky looking in there.
She's sexy as hell, bro.
No, she's not. She's ugly.
Art Germ, I loved Art Germ when he was doing, 6 covers a year. Now he's doing 932. I think he's rushing stuff, and it shows.
Catwoman number 9. I like that cover better. Wonder Woman number 66. Like that cover a lot too. So I actually asked my wife, who is kind of not necessarily an art major. She does know a lot about art. What was her cover of the week out of these 4 books here? And she actually chose the Grim Knight. So the Grim Knight was the best one. She had too many other complaints with, where's her leg? Her leg's gone. There's some lighting issues. This one looked like, if you turn it the right way it's supposed to be, looks like maybe she had the penis coming out. Looks like she's getting a butt slap. So penis. So she chose the Grim Knight was the cover of the week, and I'm excited to do that. I may ask her, bring out some books, and hey, what are your thoughts on these books? What's your cover of the week? Hashtag penis from Drew. But that is our books for the week. Normally we would have a segment, but Drew wants to give us a quick rundown of.
Shut your funko mouth! Guys, I want you all to know this is just the Mandela effect. Shut Your Funko Mouth was never a part of Blast It or Stash It. It's all in your imaginations. It's a collective consciousness thing where you thought that there was this guy named Mike and he was like a grandpa, spider related. He never was. He never was. There are no Funkos. It's not a thing. Everybody's still picking up Beanie Babies. Get on that Beanie Baby train. Shut your Funko mouth!
I think Dave
was thought I was going to take longer and vamp.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I actually jumped up to get one of my Beanie Babies off the shelf. So, anybody else pick any Funkos or anything up this week? Drew, nothing for you?
No plastic, man. I am saving money at this point.
I ain't spending shit because C2E2 is coming.
Yeah, I sold a bunch of books to make money for this shit. I'm not out there. I'm surprised I spent as much on the books as I have. My Kingpin Build-A-Figure Wave of Marvel Legends is supposed to be at my LCS this Wednesday. I told dude I'm not stopping by. I'll be back next week.
I'm picking up a couple books. One, I'm picking up that Detective Comics 1000 just to get that signed at C2E2.
Oh shit! I got so many 1000s coming my way that I'll pick one up at C2E2 to get it signed. You know he's gonna have a stack of them sitting there.
Yeah, probably. The only Funko I got was my wife sent me a picture saying, "Hey, you want one of these?" And she got me the Captain Marvel Walmart exclusive glow in the dark one. So that's cool. That's the only Funko I got. Usually Funkos anymore are a gift I get them as gifts and stuff. I usually don't go buy them very much anymore. Too busy spending money on comic books. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Last minute shout out.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Before we just head out, I want everybody to think about this, ponder this, if you will.
Ponder.
War of the Realms is coming out now. From the calculation that I done, even if you order your books in advance and you only get one issue at regular cover price, it's $457.13. That's in tie-ins and the main titles alone.
There are 151 books.
Yeah. Is that a little eccentric for an epic event?
Do you want me to get started on this whole fucking thing? There's too many events and they're too fucking huge again.
Like, I'll go to Spider-Verse real quick. After Spider-Verse, I bought all the tie-ins, got all the mainstream books and everything, right? That was still only $230 after that event was done.
I had a long days where you had one event every 3 years, and it was 12 issues, and we're done.
I think this is a double-edged sword. I think that events that are this big can be amazing, and I think that events that are this big can be absolutely terrible. I think if you look at something like Secret Wars, there were so many tie-ins. There were so many separate stories. There were so many minis you could pick up. And a lot of that stuff was just really interesting stuff in and of itself. Like
the second Secret Wars, not the one in the 80s.
I didn't hear you.
I said the second Secret Wars, not the one in the 80s, right?
The third Secret Wars, actually.
Yeah,
the one in Secret Wars 2 is terrible.
Yeah. No.
I mean, like, me again?
No, it fixed itself almost immediately.
Okay. Hickman's Secret Wars. That's something that I really enjoyed because it spun out of Avengers, which is a run he did for a long time. He built all this up to break it down. And when he did, it created this playground where you could tell a 4-issue story that wasn't technically tied in, but was a tie-in, existed in the same universe. And they released 1 million books. And the majority of them, for my opinion, were really good. I thought there was some really good stuff that came out of that, a lot of good stories. Then you take something like Convergence, which had so many tie-ins, and a lot of them were good, and a lot of them were shit, and none of it really made any sense. I think that I really love what Aaron has been doing with the Avengers. I think that all of us have kind of been on board with Avengers who have been reading it. I really love what Aaron's been doing with Thor for the past 5 years. This has kind of all been building up to War of the Realms, and I think that there are too many tie-ins, too many team books that I don't care about for me to do the whole thing. So I won't do the whole thing. But I'm going to pick and choose and cherry pick through a lot of these issues that I think are going to be compelling. And I think that that's still going to cost me an arm and a leg. But these big events, they give you the opportunity to kind of grab a little bit of everything and cherry pick through it. But if you just follow the main story, you should be fine. I think that Marvel's doing something pretty cool in taking these books, these tie-in books, and making them miniseries that are kind of not tied to other books. Because that's the one thing I didn't like about like Civil War 2 is if you are reading a ongoing and they tie it in, they got to divert the story in order to account for the tie-in. I think making these all minis gives you the opportunity to let the ongoing stories breathe on their own. So if you're ignoring the event, ignore the event. That's just my opinion. I think there's ups and downs with both ends.
Well, my whole deal with it is I hate all the tie-ins. Like I'm looking at the War of the Realms. Okay, Thor fits in. Asgardians of the Galaxy fits in. Venom, Punisher. How do those fit into this whole story arc? And I hate that.
Well, Venom's tied to Thor.
If you're a completist, like say I'm a Venom fan, I've been picking up all the Venom. Of course, Cates is not writing the next 2 or 3 issues because of the tie-in to War of the Realms. It's like, dude, why do I want to pick those books up? I don't, because I just want to read the Venom story. So I don't know why they can't have their own separate little thing away from the other series. Like, okay, fine, let's have a Venom miniseries. Let's not go tie in with the main title. Let's have something completely different, because it just throws everything off for me, and I hate that. I mean, I'll pick up a few issues here and there, but I'm not picking up every single one of those damn tie-ins. That's for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree with it too, because if we go back to like Drowned Earth, and I know that's DC, but it was an event either way. So we're talking about events. Drowned Earth, you had that Teen Titans tie-in, right? That had nothing to do with the story whatsoever. For them to just say tie-in nowadays, it just seems like all that has to kind of sort of happen is the team be mentioned and kind of seen in the background. So even at a tie-in at this point, it just seems like it's a little bit more weak at best. So I as I go through this, I think I'm just pulling the main titles and any. I don't know how I'm going to pick what's prevalent, because I mean, literally every week something's going to be coming out that's going to be tied in or has something to do with War of the Realms.
Well, I think Venom fits that mold because what has made the Donny Cates Venom run so great has been Null and the Necro Sword and the things that are really tied to Jason Aaron's Thor. Cates has taken a lot of that continuity and added it to the Venom lore, and I think that a lot of that's going to come up in War of the Realms. But that's just a thought process that I'm going through with Venom. I think that a lot of the other books that they're going to run minis instead of doing a whole lot more tie-ins. And of course, with Marvel, everything's a continuity thing. Everything's tied together. So there are going to be mentions. And if they can throw War of the Realms on the top of a book that I'm already reading and find a way to mention the story while not even altering the ongoing tale, I don't have a problem with that. I'm already reading that book. It's already on my pull list. But I'm not going to go out of my way to pick up an issue of a book that I'm not reading because of how it ties in. Just
my main thing is you should be able to read the event books without reading a single tie-in and get the story.
You should be able to.
And sometimes they cross that line where something important will happen and something. But at the same time, let's look at Dark Knight's Metal. The best books were the tie-in books.
By far. Now, the Capullo art was great, but story-wise, I think that the best character work and the best narratives were being spun in those tie-ins.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we'll have a great chance to kind of get some insider information as we beat around C2E2, and we got a lot of the artists and a lot of the writers there. Maybe, I don't know, give them a couple of drinks. Maybe they'll tell us something, which one's to get, which one's not to get.
So somebody, Giacchio, was asking, are we going to get any videos from C2E2?
Yes. At least I know I'll be putting something out. I'm sure we'll do something together like we did.
Yeah, we made like set the laptop up on one camera, one mic, and just kind of sit around, maybe have discussion, kind of like what Drew and I did after Fan Expo, maybe on a night or something like that. I know Comic Core is probably going to be doing their. I don't think their Friday night show or not.
I think they are. I think we will do the Friday night show, but we'll do it at the house where you guys are at. Sunday, I think, is pretty much out for us because everybody's traveling home. But I think that would be awesome for Friday to have both Comic Core and Blast It just, do our thing.
You know what we should do? I'll talk to you guys about it off air, but I think that a great idea would be a Sunday morning, breakfast or stash it.
Breakfast or stash it.
Just give me all the fucking bacon and I'll be okay.
I'm not reading any books that week.
Yeah, I'm not reading
We'll get plenty of books there.
I'm reading books on the way up there. I'm buying my comic books because I'm dedicated. I'm buying my books Wednesday morning and reading them on the drive.
So maybe drive in one hand, reading in the other hand. Mikey's sleeping next to him.
Trust me, Slick. I've done worse.
I'm not doubting your abilities. I have full faith in you.
You guys are leaving like Wednesday night, right?
Yeah. So what we're doing is I have a Masonic Lodge meeting, and it usually goes till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in the car and go. We're both night owls. We don't really sleep much. Yeah. So We'll just head out.
I think I'll be there at 8 in the morning on Thursday, and I'll probably be picking up Drew because I'm an Uber Paul.
Yeah, man.
And then I'll get a hold of Joe and Mike. They should be there by the time I get there, and I'll have them pick me up.
We'll see what
I
happens.
think,
We'll send
I
out
think
a
Legend's
text
getting
that we're
around the
in
same
the
time
area.
I am, so we'll all get together and we'll have a good ass time. It's gonna be fun.
So yeah, we're probably gonna end up doing maybe a few live videos from the con. Maybe kind of sit around talking. We did that a little bit of Fan Expo. Want to do a little bit more of that this time. Maybe we'll find some more gay pirates there. Who knows? Maybe we might get book number 2.
We're all sleeping in the same dwelling, and I'm gonna be taking videos. So check my Pornhub page.
Drew, if you come into my room, I will be armed.
I've been practicing my chonko dodging techniques.
Hey, you guys want to see something funny? When we get to C2E2, ask me to pop the trunk of my truck. It's absolutely amazing because there's stuff in there I have to keep in there all the time. It is absolutely amazing. We're going to feel like Punisher.
Emo Comics asked, are we meeting up with any other YouTubers? Yes, we actually are sharing an Airbnb with the whole Comic Core group, as well as
All About Comics will be there as well. We'll be meeting them at the con.
Great Legend.
JD's going to be in the house at some
Discovery
point.
Day
Comics
is
Misexplained's going to be there. I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Discovery Day as well. And
is Discovery Bay coming?
yeah, last I talked to him, he said he was going to try to crash the party. I said, come on, baby, we'll figure it out.
Okay. There'll be quite a few of the YouTubers there, and people maybe we haven't even met up with or talked to about trying to meet up with. I'm sure we're going to bring them to Chuckload of Comics is going to have a booth there. We're planning on maybe spend an hour or so there in the booth, maybe do an interview with him as well as him interviewing us. I don't know what the plan is there, but we're going to go and try to do that. I know there are a couple other people that I want to go meet with. But it's definitely looking to be a pretty good time. I don't want to try to schedule everything out because I want to be able to have some free flow time to be able to get book signed, do some digging, just hanging out too. So it's going to be kind of a mix of everything. But it's looking to be a good time.
If you put me in an itinerary, it's just going to give me the opportunity to miss appointments.
Yeah, Drew, you don't have time to take a leak. We got to go. 15 minutes to be there.
Well, I'm bringing adult diapers, baby. We're standing in the line. No time for bathroom breaks.
Yep. Yes, that's what we're talking. We'll talk. We'll let you guys know what's going on. Any other videos with them, or just meet and greet with them.
If I may interrupt, if you want to know what's going on at C2E2 while we're there, there's a subscribe button. Pop that subscribe button. Whenever we do something, post a video or go live, you're gonna know, and you're gonna have fun with us. So definitely check that out.
Go on top of that YouTube thing. We have a Facebook group. We're going to be putting stuff on Facebook. They say, hey, we're meeting with this person later tonight. Come check us out. We have a Twitter page. We have an Instagram page. Go follow us on all of those to get the lowdown on what's going to be going on. And maybe we'll be posting some, hey, we're going to be over at this booth at 4 o'clock or whatever, Definitely just follow us on those. And if you want, you can follow us on Patreon, which I have the Patreon winner. I don't have the video up, but Matthew Sloan is the winner for.
That's impossible. I should have won that.
No, I'm sorry, Joe. Matthew Sloan. I'm gonna get that package out to him. I'm not sure if he's going to C2E2. Maybe I'll just bring it with me, just personally deliver it to him. So, and I'll be picking up some stuff for prizes and stuff for future Patreon winners. So if you're not part of our Patreon, go check that out. $1 a month gets you an entry into the contest. All the money goes into prizes and stuff like that. So it's not like we're lining our pockets like Drew constantly says we are, but it's not like that.
We're jangling, baby. A jingle and a jangle.
Yes, we're hurrying up. Last thing I want to do, I'm not doing a giveaway for my local subscribers, trying to get some more people there. I'm giving away 2 tickets to Shazam opening night. So I got those already purchased. Got to wait for local stuff. So we'll go to drop it off to Drew, or we can go to Paul first if Paul needs to bounce out of here. Do your last minute shout outs, Paul.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Kerboski because he showed up for like the first time in 3 years. And we'll see as many of you as possible at C2E2. And oh man, it's gonna be a blast. Can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be a stash. Drew,
Yeah. Just a heads up, guys. Keep your eyes peeled to my channel, DruManchu. Sub it up. I'm at 300 subs. Maybe a few more than that. I haven't checked today, but I'll be doing a 300 subscriber contest video tomorrow at some point. So keep your eyes open for that. In addition, I am also headed to C2E2. Excited to meet everybody out there. Thank you so much to everybody who came by the auctions I've been on recently. Comic Core auction last night sold a whole bunch of nonsense. Excited to do that. Excited to line my pockets so I can get some cool stuff out there. As far as video appearances, I'm not treating this like a work trip. This is my vacation, so I'm going to show up on other people's channels. So keep your eyes peeled all over the tubes for that DruManchu bump. They're all going to get more subscribers because my nonsense is going to be flowing over into their quality content. Beyond that, man, thanks for showing up in the chat today. I'm super excited for this con. I'm super excited to get out there and drink some beers with my bros and argue with Joey in person and make everybody uncomfortable. It's going to be great.
Joe?
Hey, guys, you wonderful weirdos. Thank you for stopping by and seeing a bunch of grown men argue about comic books. We love and appreciate you. Thank you. And Bagora for St. Patrick's Day. I hope you all had a great time with us. Definitely check us out while we're out hanging out at C2E2. Currently, right now on my own channel, I have a contest going on. Go check that contest out. And I think you will find it interesting. If you don't, just tell me it's lame. I'll come up with something else. That's fine. But
Joey,
I think
it's lame. Come up with something else.
It's well. I'm sorry.
Actually, I think it's a really cool contest.
Yeah, right. So put a video in already. So
I'm not trying to put videos on my own page for me.
So put a video in there because I'm going to tell you right now, whatever comic books I send you, you see what I have on the show here. You know the stuff that I collect. You've seen me in auctions. You know I got the good stuff. I send the good stuff. So definitely check that out. What else? Yeah, C2E2. It's going to be great hanging out with everybody, having some drinks, having a good time. I can't wait for it to happen. You know, it's like we've been saying, you know, cocaine, hookers, and bad decisions. C2E2. Here we come.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to find another blank comic book issue. Last Dallas Fan Expo, I had the Fantastic Four. All the YouTubers I met at that big YouTube dinner, which maybe we'll start trying to plan something like that again, too. And I had everybody sign my book, which is kind of, you know, it's not going to be worth anything, but that's just a great memento for me. Like, hey, I met this guy, I met this guy, I met this guy. And so I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully I get a bed and not a couch. We'll see what happens when we get to the house. But I don't want to share a bedroom material, especially as a Pornhub account, unless he gives me the access to it, the password and stuff. But that's it. I think so. Whether you blast it, whether you stash it, happy reading, and we will see you guys at C2E2.
DruManchu, baby.
DruManchu, whatever.